Welcome back to Just Take 3. We're going to talk about the biggest loaded question in Magic the Gathering. I would have to say in 2024 is, and that's how to play Magic. it's very, it's very funny. If you really, let's really say it and think about it, it's very funny. Uh, this is going to be a 3 to 4 video series on how to play. So this video right here is mainly want to talk about the best tools for new players to get into, order of your turn. So just jump right in and talk about the best strategies for you to start playing Magic the Gathering. And the first thing comes to mind is friends and family. That's probably ideal, the best way to play Magic together. It is very important to have friends and family in your corner is willing to sit and help you and talk to you about Magic. Because trying to learn this on your own, is it possible? Yes, it is. Is it advised? No. But some people can. They can read the information on a computer screen, uh, out of little how to play books, and they can just pick right up on it. Some people is just like that. They're just gifted. Most people, like probably like me, I needed to have somebody one on one to help play, and that was for me was my friends and family. Uh, but if let's just say you don't have that, where can you go right now and start playing a game of Magic and enjoy yourself? First off, download Arena. Magic Together in Arena. That's one to start teaching you the order of your turn. And something is very key for new players to pick up and grasp on is your order of your turn. And you get free cards. You can build your digital collection. And it's 100% free. You don't have to pay nothing as long as you got a cell phone and working Wi-Fi. Okay, that's about all you really have to have. Probably the second best thing I would have to tell anybody coming into Magic together is look at your local LGSs. And you're probably wondering why I would say LGS. Would they actually help me learn how to play? Guaranteed. If they're Magic and they do a lot for Magic, you walk in, they're sit down. If you got questions, you can talk to the workers, talk to the store owner. More than likely, they're there to help you and encourage you to come back and actually sit down and play. That's probably the best way. This is a social game, first off. I'll just say that right now. It's a social game. You want to learn talking to people. And the more you talk, the more you want to learn. Now, if you want to be all shy, you don't want to talk to people. I mean, what you do learn, it's want to hinder you. Okay, first off, it's want to hinder you. So, talking about that, it's part of the game. It's social. You want to have to talk to people. That's why I would recommend LGS. Probably the second or no third thing I would recommend most people. But now this is the one you want to have to pay a little money to do. Would be Spell Table. Good thing about that is if you're a little shy, you can be a little more yourself in the comfort of your own home. Uh, you can wear your pajamas. Nobody's want to judge you there. And you can learn. And you can still have the experience on spell table as you would in a LGS, sitting and playing with them and talking to them. Because it's won't be the same. Just you got to have overhead webcam, where you can show your battlefield, and a webcam to see you, and you can see the other people, and they can talk to you and stuff like that. And it would be more casual, especially if you're coming into the game and you want to learn to play Commander. There's a lot of information goes on with Commander. Would I recommend Commander for new players? Probably not. But it ain't the only other format out there I wouldn't recommend for new players. Besides that, but that's where you want to learn the most, is talking to random people, seeing what they like. Maybe you didn't know some card was out there you really like and you want to dedicate the time to build a deck around. That happens when you're playing with other people in LGS, Arena. All these does that. What I'm talking about. It's very important. But again, this is really just set up. This video set up for new players coming in. So spell table, it's 100% free. I would recommend spell table to anybody. As soon as I get the internet, I'm gonna start doing some spell table out here in my building because gas is high. Gas is high, and I live about 25 minutes away from LGS. Not that far. That's driving distance. But at the same Arena, it's 100% free. I mean, everybody's got a cell phone. I mean, I know 5-year-old kids have got cell phones. Okay, so everybody's got a cell phone. Moving on into the fourth best tool for a newer person to play would have to be Magic Online. Again, it's a digital game, and that's where you're actually starting to pay money to buy the card because they're not really like Arena, but it's nothing cost wise as what trying to go to LGS and play. It's nothing like playing on spell table. It's but if you got an ideal for a deck, you can run that ideal through that deck in Magic Online, and you can test, and that would be automatically a good deck building tool. You can explore and learn how to play the game. The only negative thing about Arena, to be truthful, it will make a lazy player. It just will. But that's my order of what, if you're new, where you need to go and try to learn to play the game. I mean, I can say it and talk about what I would recommend for new people to do all day long, but at the same time, it just really boils down to what you like to do, and that's what is very important. First off, so next thing I'm going to talk about in this video is a course of a turn, the proper order you take your turn in. I think more new people, that's some of the biggest things I had trouble coming in, is what order to do stuff. Yeah. And, I mean, it's very important. I mean, to know the basics. And that, I mean, you can't get no pure basic question in Magic in what your turn is. Your first section of your turn is broke up into three parts. First off, is untap, your upkeep, and your draw set. I know a lot of people, I've had them backwards at least 100 times. I've always drawed first before I untapped. And technically, by old rules, if you drawed and didn't untap, you couldn't untap. You've already signaled you was in your first main phase. And that causes a lot of arguments. Like if you're doing that at a friend's house, family's house, like they're going to give you a hard time. Don't get me wrong; they're going to give you a hard time for that, but they might not enforce that. But now the only time you got to really worry about that stuff is when you go to a sanctioned event and there's judges, they can penalize you for it. First off, and that's very key. You know, you don't want to get penalized for something you've made a mistake on. Okay? You just don't want to. So, talking about that, we're moving into your first main phase. What does that do? What does that look like in a turn? Main thing, it's where you play a land. And if you got a creature you can cast it then. Sorcery and incense. That's probably the biggest mistake in Magic the Gathering is a sorcery and an incense, because it's one of the hardest things I had trouble with in Magic. I'm gonna talk about that in the next video. After that, if you have a eligible creature can attack in the first turn, as soon as it's summoned, with haste, you can attack. So you can actually acquire attackers. And that's very important. Haste is a very good card. We'll talk in the very next episode. Keywords too. So yeah. So this won't be, like I said, it won't be a 30 to 4 video series. So after you clear your attackers, what that's where your opponent, if they have blockers, they can block you. Because some of these creatures can get pretty big pretty fast. You need blockers. Besides that, you're moving. So after all your cleared attacks has been cleared, they have the right to block. And if they don't block, then it deals combat damage to whatever you're attacking, if it's a creature or to the face. Now everybody goes for the face. So don't feel bad when you set that play. After that, you move to your second main phase. Now, what can you do in your second main phase? If you got floating mana or open mana, let's say, you can tap it for mana and cast a creature. You might need to get the creature through combat phase, but it's still in your turn. So when they take theirs and when you come back, that creature is out of summoning sickness and you can attack with. So that's very important. And then at the end is your incept. That's where you're passing the turn. Now, need to say this. There can be triggers all through your course of your turn. It just ain't at upkeep. You might have combat triggers. You might have triggers when stuff comes into the battlefield. Could be at your first and second main phase. You could have triggers at your inset. You have to keep account of. So learning your deck, and that's very important. Learning your deck is very important because at the end of the day, that's what you're playing. This is a game you're trying to learn. This is a game you're attempting to play Magic. So, so we've talked about the best ways to get started in learning. We've talked about on this video this time about the order of your turn, basic information. Uh, so yeah, I think it's just funny. I call the biggest loaded question in Magic is how to play. And like I said, I've already been talking for going on 17, 18 minutes of, and I ain't even scratched the surface. Okay, so that's why I'm breaking this up into uh, 3 to 4 videos. Want to really try to get through all the topics I want to, because I just feel like newer players, um, you coming in and you just have trouble understanding certain aspects. Don't feel alone. I did too. When I come into Magic, I knew the basics. Really not even on the order of the turn. I just knew I paid a land to cast something. And that was about as basic information as I truly know. And the only reason I think about doing this video and this type of video is I've helped 2, maybe 3 people sit down and play with when we was at the library. Hopefully we're going to get that started back up pretty soon. Hopefully the library will allow us to do it. They just went through a remodel phase. And, so talking about that, I got to meet 2 to 3 newer players. I know there's like maybe 1 or 2 more come down. Other people sat down and helped them play. Personally, I got to do 2 or 3. And that's the biggest question. They go, how to play. It's like, and I explained it to them, and you can see they was overwhelmed. One of them never even come back after the first time, so I guess he just really didn't like it. But the others, they did come back. They enjoyed it. They had fun, and they started learning how to play Flesh and Blood. You know, I'm just learning that. I mean, I'm gonna start doing some box openings when I get to some of the products, but I know nothing really about Flesh and Blood. I love Blitz. That's all I can tell you on that. So, yeah, if you want to know the local group for Eastern Kentucky I'm in is the Appalachian TCG. Look us up on there. We would be more glad if you are around when we're doing an event for you to come down and play. Again, this is a social game. Uh, Everybody just try to be more cordial with people and tries just to come out and support our local communities for things. But I will say, if you don't got a local play group in your area and you do have a local LGS, go there, support them. Uh, so, yeah. So I want to take probably 2 more minutes and talk about the next 4 videos or 3 videos I'm going to do. Like I said, next video is on keywords and creature types. Because I'm Team Goblin, so I'm going to go into the next video pretty biased for goblins, okay? I mean, just who I am, what I like, so I'm going to really brag on the goblins. You might be a vampire, zombie, or merfolk, or whatever, but I'm Team Goblin, by the way. Second, and then keywords. Keywords is probably one of them topics in Magic where I'm gonna just talk about I think the top 5 because there's so many keywords in Magic and some of them means the same thing as others. It's very confusing when you get into that topics. So keywords and creature types is the next 2 videos or the next video. Um, After the third video, I want to talk about more on the order of a turn and well, every video is going to have a rundown of the order of the turn because I think that's the most basic and people just have trouble understanding. That's what I had some of my biggest trouble with, but at the same time, I really did. And the third is want to be more what's in a deck. Okay, the third video is want to be what is a deck want to be assist of, and we'll try to look at that aspect. And with it, it's be the how the sack works. Okay, because there's a lot of information on priority, who has that, who casts what, does there's a lot of information on that stuff. And I'm gonna talk about it the best I understand. Uh, when you're talking about priorities, order of that, that's a little confusing for most new players. Uh, so I can tell you or just point you in the direction where you can go do your own research because that's the key. Doing your own research, not believing everything you hear online. And if I get something wrong, comment on the bottom of it. Tell me I misunderstood it. I'm not going to take it personal. I'm not going to call you out and say you're being mean to me, you're bullying. I don't care. If I got something wrong, I'd rather for somebody to tell me I got something wrong, where I can make corrections to fix that. That's very important. We're humans. We're all going to make mistakes.